Everybody, it's Allhanleyfilms here today, and today I'm joined by fellow YouTubers, PopcornFilmsMovies,
and the Gundum Group.
And today we're going to be giving down our predictions for what we think is going to happen in Infinity War before we see it tonight, and it's going to be amazing. Okay, this is how it's going to work. Basically, each of us is going to give one prediction that we think is most likely to happen, and then we have our wild card prediction, which is what we kind of hope would happen, but we know that there's probably a really, really low chance that it actually does. So, without further ado, why don't we have the Gundam Group start it off?
My normal prediction is that even though he's one of my favorites, I feel like Vision is gonna not make it to the movie because he's not like a major character that would be like a huge blow to the franchise, but he's big enough that it would have emotional impact, especially for people like me that really like him and ship Scarlet Witch and him.
Because they have their romantic relationship. I feel they would just pick it out of his head, but then they'd keep his body, and then in Avengers 4 they'd get the stone back, and they'd save him.
I don't think he's gonna be completely dead.
Yeah, he's not gonna be completely dead.
Because it gives him his power. Because he mentioned that in Civil War, he says it gives me my power, but I don't even know what it is. So I think he'll just lose his power, but not necessarily lose his life.
Right. Anyway, let's keep this moving.
Okay.
My prediction is that that Hawkeye will meet his fate in this movie, because he had a good arc in the last Avengers movie when people thought he was kind of a nobody, and then he didn't really prove himself that much.
All he did was get somebody else killed.
Pretty much,
I
yeah.
love Hawkeye.
And he wanted to go more into being a family man instead. So I think he's gonna meet his end in this movie.
Or maybe I feel like at the end of I feel like he'll, if nothing else, he'll retire.
He's not gonna. I don't think Hawkeye's gonna go because he has a small role in this, and I bet his role is probably. If I had to put money on it, I bet his role is probably in an end credit scene where Cap has sent him to go get Captain Marvel because they realize that they're not powerful enough even as a team to beat Thanos, but she is.
Right.
So he sends him out to go get her because her movie takes place in the 90s, and Hawkeye still is in Avengers 4.
Right.
So it's like they already know that she exists, and then Nick Fury would tell Cap, or Cap would just learn that she exists, and then send him out to go get her.
Alright. Now what's your
prediction? My prediction is that I'm not going to do a death one. You guys have already heard a bunch of death ones, and let's move on. I believe
Let's be different.
I don't think Thanos is going to get all 6 Infinity Stones. I feel he's going to get maybe at the most 5, but there's one more, which is probably the Soul Stone, that is being hidden, and maybe Captain Marvel has it, I don't know.
I feel like the Soul Stone's location will be revealed, but there's no way he can get all 6, because then he wins. He doesn't have to do anything.
And you never see him in any of the trailers.
And then that's a plot hole. I feel he's going to get 5, and he's going to be really powerful, but then the last movie is about them defending the last one.
Yeah.
That means he has to get a lot of stones from a lot of different people. He has to get the one from the Collector, the one from the Nova Corps, then the Time one from Doctor Strange.
And then if he ends up getting the one from Vision, then that means my prediction is at least partially correct.
Yeah, that's true. But then there's the Reality Stone. I don't know where that one is.
Isn't that in Strange's thing?
No, that's the Time Stone.
Right. No, I forgot.
He might get that one. Maybe.
Possible.
I feel that one he won't get is the Soul Stone simply because we don't know where it is.
But I really feel like its location will be revealed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now for wild card.
Wild card predictions, and we'll just go in the same order first.
I don't really expect this to happen, but just because I do enjoy his character a lot, I'd really love to see a Daredevil cameo, especially since Marvel does own the rights to the TV shows and movies. And I don't think they'd ever put Daredevil in as a big hero, since the TV shows are aimed at a much more mature audience. But I feel like a little cameo, especially since Daredevil is kind of the most hero out of all the TV shows. So a lot of the TV shows are really serious and not your traditional hero thing. But Daredevil is still pretty much, got a costume, fights crime. So since he's kind of most like your standard hero, I feel like if any TV show character would make a cameo, it would be Daredevil.
Well, he's the most popular, and he's had a film.
Yeah, I mean, I love Daredevil. He's definitely
and the other 3, I don't think people really like that. One, they don't have costumes; they just kind of wear clothes. And I feel Daredevil can keep up with
Yeah.
the Avengers.
Like, I feel like the main thing is a lot of people now. I'm sorry, super big Marvel TV show fans. I haven't seen the other one, so if I'm mistaken in this, my bad. But I feel like a lot of people, they love the other shows, but like when it comes to Daredevil, not only do they love the show, they love the character of Daredevil. So it makes sense.
Yeah, like I didn't know who Jessica Jones was. I didn't know who that was. And I feel you could be right because I do know there's a battle in New York for a little bit. And New York has a heavy thing, so maybe, I mean, with that giant circle thing that we see, he's not gonna, you're telling me he's not gonna come out and try and do something?
I mean, I even saw an interview one time with the actor who plays Daredevil, and he said, like, he wouldn't mind being in
Yeah, I've
Avengers.
heard that.
Anyway,
I'm gonna change my prediction that I think there will possibly, since Marvel now owns the rights, I think Wolverine may make some sort of cameo, like as you said, but more of an end credit scene than anything else at the very end of the movie. That we're gonna see some sort of sign of Wolverine, letting us know that he will be possibly in the next Avengers movie. Because now that they own the rights for him, they can resurrect him, they can make their own story with him again, they can do what they want, and who knows, we could see him in the next Avengers movie, and I'd love to see that.
Alright. I mean, that was my, what is it, wild card prediction, but that's okay because I got another one for a backup. But I will say about that one is the only thing about that one is
Hugh Jackman's kind of done with Marvel for now.
the X-Men. It'd be really hard to say, oh yeah, they exist at the same time as the Avengers. It's like, but they never ever mention each other, and
Yeah, because there's like there's super big stuff like world-ending event in Avengers, world-ending event in X-Men. You're just supposed to tell me that entire time that's been like, we'll let them handle
That's
it.
why they'll probably just end up scrapping it.
And
doing their own
I
thing.
think it would confuse people because after Logan, he dies, and then I think people were like, but wait, didn't he die? And even though they may not realize that movie's still 10 years in the future. Okay, so I'll do mine.
Right.
I'll do mine. This one is still kind of related to yours with the whole Disney Fox thing, but I think that we have a better chance of seeing the Fantastic Four show up in an end credit scene.
That could happen because there's not really
Yeah.
much Fantastic Four movie history other than that one movie that it seems like they're trying to just kind of forget about.
Yeah, no, but that movie sucked. Yeah, that movie
I
sucked.
didn't mind it, but it's definitely not the greatest.
Yeah, and that one they could be easier to introduce. And I feel just throwing in the X-Men and they don't know anything about Thanos, so really how to fight him. Like, if you threw it, because the Fantastic Four, they deal with science a lot. They could throw them in there and they could learn how to maybe beat with Tony Stark and the Mr. Fantastic. They could collaborate.
Anyway.
Alright.